What is up, y'all? Welcome back. Today we're playing with some more new at Sephora makeup. I know. It feels like a lot of these because it is a lot of these. It's spring, which is an exciting time for makeup anyway, and also we're approaching the Sephora sale, so I think that a lot of the brands are really trying to get their stuff in under the buzzer. Today, we're going to be trying the new ILIA Skin Rewind Complexion Stick. I actually have this in 2 shades because I bought one, and typical of me lately, it was the wrong shade entirely, and I just took the L and bought the other one. I'm gonna swatch both of them for you since I have them on hand, but this is the shade 4N Holly. I also have one of the new Haus Labs blushes, which is just so much smaller than the old Haus Labs blushes, and I think that the entire internet, you know, the beauty part of it, is collectively very disappointed by this, but we're going to be using Fire Moon today, and probably also Pomelo Peach. This is actually interesting because I thought it was gonna be at Sephora because Melt Cosmetics is at Sephora, but this is the new stack from Melt Cosmetics, and like, I have enough stuff to constitute a new at Sephora anyway. I figured I would try this regardless, but Sephora carries Melt. I got this at Nordstrom, and the thing about Sephora is a lot of times you'll see that they don't carry a brand's entire line, especially if it's like an indie brand. That will sometimes be because they just don't think that a certain product is gonna do well, so I wonder if that's why they didn't pick this one up either online or in store. I don't know what the tea is here, but it seems to have been pulled from the Nordstrom website. This says it's sold out. I had to go into my email confirmation in order to even get a link to the product because when you search for Melt Cosmetics, it's not coming up. And I just doubt that it's sold out. That just doesn't, unless they bought like a really small inventory of it, but the only place that it's available right now is on the Melt website. I just think that it's not doing well, and it's foreshadowing for my review in this video anyway. But yeah, I just found that interesting. If anybody knows the tea, clue us in. I don't know the facts there, but I will be trying this on camera today. And this is their Warm Browns Petite Eyeshadow Stack. And I actually bought a couple of new lip glosses. I'm going to be swatching both of these actually against some other stuff too. This is the new MER Lip Volumizer. $90. I'm insane. And then this is the new Rose Perfecto. I mean, it's not a new formula, but this is the Rose Perfecto lip balm from GIvenchy in a new shade, and they're both coral. Being that these are so similar to a lot of other things in my collection, we are going to be doing some Olympic level swatching today, I think. And so if you're new here and that's the kind of thing that you want to tune in for, is comparison swatches and 4K of performance of products and also some chaos, that's really what we do here. It's mostly prestige and luxury beauty, and we talk also a lot about color theory. I have an art degree, I'm a cosmetologist, XYZ. So subscribe if you want to. All that said, let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so skin prep wise, I just have this. This is the GIvenchy Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. That's what's on my skin right now, and it has like 8 types of hyaluronic acid in it, and it makes my skin really bouncy, but it doesn't make it slippery. It's a very, very elegant product. I love this formula. So this is what we're going to start in with. This is, like I said, 4N Holly. I also picked up 9N Tupelo. 4N claiming to be the neutral shade for very light skin tones. It works pretty well on me. This is a pretty big shade range, but as we've discussed in the past, size isn't everything. It is an excellent example of a brand putting out a large number of shades, but it being very skewed towards Caucasian, and it's worth pointing out. Here we have Tupelo. It's also claiming to be neutral, just the next deepest shade. You can see why that wouldn't work on me. You know, maybe as a bronzer. Next, I honestly think that this is one of the most relevant comparisons because the ILIA is claiming to be kind of a complexion multi-stick. It's like a concealer, foundation, what have you. I feel like this is what they're coming for, is the Westman Atelier Vital Skin Foundation Stick, and I love this. Okay. It is a product that I don't necessarily recommend applying all over the face because that is not how Gucci Westman uses it. She just kind of dibby dabs it here and there on the skin. And I will say, I have used this all over my skin and it doesn't do very well, and neither does this. And so I am going to be a little more selective in application this time to try and maybe use it the way that it's intended. But you can see that that is the shade Atelier Zero, and it is pinker than both of these. Then we have the Fenty. Love this. Eavesdrop Blur and Smooth Tint Stick in the shade 2. This is a sheerer formula. It's slippier. It's gorgeous. It's so user-friendly. I think I'm gonna do a video coming up of just like a starter pack of the most user-friendly, like hybrid texture makeup. And I'll try and make it as affordable as I can. Like, I've noticed that those are the products that I gravitate towards when I'm recommending them to other people, but they're not the products that I talk about as much on my channel because I'm usually so excited about like new releases and luxury. Like, this doesn't get enough attention on my channel. It's so good. It's so good. But I do think that as a skin tint, like, you do need a concealer with it. It doesn't have enough coverage, but you could use it as very light coverage concealer if that's what you're into. And finally, we have, my component is failing, but that's okay. This is the Bosma foundation stick. One of the best shade ranges I've ever seen. This is the one where when it came out, y'all were seeing ads for it where people were literally just striping it down their cheek and it would disappear because they just have such a well-informed shade range. However, it's not a lot of product for your money. That's just how it is. And it is just a phenomenal shade match for me. So this claims to be a high coverage foundation, but I have found it to be really flexible. You can get very thin coverage without it doing that thing where it like grabs on your pores and looks weird. That's what like the Milk foundation stick does. It really has one coverage level it wants to be at and it doesn't have a lot of wiggle room or versatility. This is really versatile, and in fact, I don't really think that its best use case is full coverage. I think that it is used best as kind of a hybrid complexion product where you need it. But the founder of Bosma did have an accident where her face got burned as a child, and that's why she developed this, and obviously she's getting what she wants out of it, which is coverage, so I think that it's safe to say it can be achieved. So the claims on the ILIA says a long-wear skin-powered complexion stick that blurs instantly and visibly firms and smooths over time. Medium coverage, natural finish. It's $48 and has 42 shades, 35 of which are for light and medium skin tones. As for how to use, it says to conceal, use your fingers or a small brush to pick up product and gently pat into skin for all over coverage, swipe directly onto skin. Like I said, I'm gonna start with a brush application that is just focused on less is more. And maybe we'll put more on, but it's hard to take it off. You know, this is the BK Beauty 109. I always have a code with BK Beauty, 10% off down there. It's just khaki 10. It does come with this really cute little embossing at the top that says ILIA in a square, but I mean, it goes away instantly. I mean, obviously, that's not even a read. Okay. It's not nothing, but it's darn close, which is kind of interesting because when you do swipe it all over your face, it's quite a bit of coverage. Huh. Okay. I'm actually not mad at that. That's completely different. I'll show you like what it looks like when you just do a big old stripe of it. It can really gather on texture. I feel like it doesn't really love powder. Like that spot's gonna be fine. Like I'm not worried about it. Let's do it over here too, who cares? But as far as using it like all over my forehead and stuff, swiping it directly on and then blending it that way, or even trying to use a sponge, it just didn't seem like it wanted to do that. And this application feels like it's what the makeup wants to do. It's a little bit, I feel like slippier and less matte than the Westman Atelier, but not by much. It just looks smoother in the stick, whereas the Westman Atelier has kind of a, I don't know, you can like just tell. It looks more like a concealer. I don't know, it's much higher coverage. Oh, that is just really nice doing it that way. I honestly do think that that's a natural finish. Well, isn't that lovely? I'm acting like it's a first impression, but it's a first impression applying it like this. It makes perfect sense applied like this. I do want to take something smaller and more detailed to apply some on my blemishes here. This is the BK A506, the kitten paw, and it's great for more detailed concealer application. Isn't that just lovely? So this is very, very different. Very, very different from the Westman Atelier. Westman Atelier really covers. Like it's going to, it looks like skin, it's wonderful, but it definitely covers a lot more than this. This is so chill. I would put it right between, like dead center in between the Fenty and the Westman Atelier. But I don't recommend applying it all over the face. But like very forgiving, very pretty, very lightweight. I think that that is, at least for me, such an ideal use case is to apply it that way. And honestly, you'll get your money's worth, because like, are you kidding me? That's so much. Let's roll her all the way up and see how much product there actually is. But I mean, if you're using it like that, they're gonna bury it with you. That's a good amount of product, y'all. That's a good amount of foundation, especially if we use it like that. All right, ILIA. Not a fan of your shade range, but the formula is really good. Fill in the blanks. So I guess this is becoming kind of a lightweight face of makeup, which is interesting. Like I really don't even have anything on my cheeks right now. So let's go in with the Haus Labs blush first so that you can see what it looks like, especially because Fire Moon is a new color, and then we'll decide on bronzer later. So Fire Moon, tiny package.
That's what she said.
And Fire Moon was the one that everybody on my feed was swooning over because it's such just like a medium terracotta kind of rust color that looks like tan blush. It looks like sunburn. Like who doesn't want that? No one wants a sunburn, but you love that like sun-chapped cheek look. And as far as comparable shades, it's kind of slim pickings because it is a color that I feel like most brands do in a cream more often. I don't know why, but I've seen it a lot more as a cream. And also it's just an uncommon color. So I have here 3 that I think are worth comparing to it. This is probably the least so, but I figured y'all would probably want to see it. So this is Kiss of Spice in the Gen Nude Bronzer from Bare Minerals. Not even close, not even close. And I don't really love this formula anyway, but it's quite brown. Like it still has a little bit of a coral shift on it, but there's like no shift on the Haus Labs blush. It's just really nice and kind of blurring, but it doesn't have any kind of glitter particles in it. Yeah, so all of the ones that I'm comparing it to color-wise here are actually a little bit shimmery. Interessante. It really does kind of stand out in the crowd in that sense. So the next one here is Crystal Slipper from RMS. RMS did a good job in this release of, or I guess it's been several releases, but they put out shades that are ambiguous. A lot of their stuff they put out is pink. You know, that whole lip line was just pink. But Crystal Slipper is pretty close. It's not like dead on, but it's pretty close. And then Maiden's Blush, which is probably gonna be the closest, I think. Because it's just that sunburny, tanny kind of look, and I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I am kind of wrong. Huh. It's pinker or mauver, really. Interesting. Interesting. Really makes you think, you know? I would say it's kind of in line with, and no, it's not. No, it's not. So yeah, I would say it's kind of a standout in terms of, in, you know, my collection in terms of the actual color, because like, I mean, what is it? You know? I think that that's the beauty of it, is that it's really unique. Now, as I'm applying this, let's talk about the pricing situation. One of my viewers slash also a creator, I will tag her, sent me something. Teresa Glena said, you know, I did a story on it a bit ago. Haus Labs blushes are back, same formula, different packaging, less product, a lower price point. The old one is 11 grams for $38. The new one is 5 grams for $32. Per gram, that is 85% more expensive. Bananas. I think that there is a little bit of like a perception change that they're trying to make. They're sort of trying to shift how we think about them as something that's a little bit more precious. And I don't know if they really nailed that, because it just looks the same but smaller. If you're gonna change it that much, change it that much. Do something more special. Judge not on the fact that that went on patchy, because I don't have any actual complexion product on my cheeks. So that's gonna be a little more accurate, is up on my forehead, but it's an inconsistent texture. I think it'll be okay, but it's not the fault of the product. It's still the same formula, and I love this formula. Like, I feel completely confident in saying that that is a me issue, not their blush issue. So yeah, the reason that this is worth reviewing is because it's absolutely one of my favorite blush formulas. Y'all saw me fall in love with them last year, but I do feel like it's insulting, right? Like, I do like that the top, I believe, is a different color for each shade. That's fine, that's cool if that's where you want to put your money, but this is not okay. This is just not okay. And I think that it's also kind of a stunt. There's gonna be a lot of conversation around it and you being mad or whatever, but then there's people like me reviewing it, so you know, they get what they want at the end of the day. It's stupid how that kind of thing works. So I am going to apply some Pomelo Peach on top. You can see the H is well worn on that one, but the entire look today is going to lean a little bit more coral. So I want to make sure that my cheeks start out like that. And we're getting a little bit of a sunburn effect here. And it's gonna look a little different, you know, because that's on practically bare skin. Kind of cool. So bronzer wise, I think I'm gonna go in with my Hermes. I know this is like a really pricey product. I'm not gonna apologize for that, but it's also not available at Sephora. I will apologize for that because I feel like this is like a new at Sephora video. But the reason I'm going in with this is because it's kind of halfway in between a setting powder and a bronzer. and it's clearly hard panned because I use it like that, it's gonna do a really nice natural job of both blurring what I already have on my skin and being a bronzer. I'm not mad at that. Let's turn the light down just a smidge because I want you to see the texture underneath my eyes. It's actually lovely. It's so smooth. Is it Tower 28 level coverage? No, like their concealer that I love so much, but it's so smooth and it's not slippy at all. It's sophisticated enough that it is drying down and behaving like, you know, a long wearing product, even though it came in a stick. Sometimes it's hard to have the formula really transform on the skin. All right, I am going to powder a little bit because I think it's gonna really balance out the dimension on my face, but I do wanna say I'm very pleased with the hybrid texture that even though the Haus Labs are technically powders, they still give a really nice kind of like healthy glow to the cheeks, and then the ILIA was just so uncomplaining that I didn't feel like I really had to worry about her at all. In recent videos, I've been using a whole lot of this. I'm not gonna do that today. Rattly Natalie's back in the building. Told you, my kid likes to come in here and put the hot dogs in the oven, which means putting brushes in different drawers. And so that is where my brushes tend to go, and then I just stumble back upon them. That's nice. A little bit of the Victoria Beckham wouldn't kill me though. Blurs that line, that glowing line underneath my eyes. Oh, also, I got my septum pierced. Yeah. In the words of Homes Tom, the intrusive thoughts won, and I'm so pleased with it. I love it. I've been kind of wearing an ear cuff there occasionally, here and there, for the last couple of years, just seeing if I liked it, and I have to say I like the piercing even more than that, and I told my piercer to just make it super snug, and he did an amazing job. I love how tiny it is. All right, let us crack into these here eyeshadows. I have some lore to share about Melt Cosmetics. If you've been on my channel for any amount of time, you know that Melt is not my favorite formula because they tend to kind of blend away. But as usual, I like to, sorry, kind of refresh my memory on things and see if my opinions have changed because, you know, we evolve, right? Our tastes evolve, our wants evolve, and sometimes formulas evolve, who knows? But this is a beautiful little set of 5 eyeshadows, and they're in cardboard packaging that kind of slides one to the next. This is not a travel-friendly delivery system, my friends. When I got this in the mail from Nordstrom, the Bedroomized Brown shade was completely shattered. Like I opened it and it exploded everywhere. But then I took the lip gloss from Lawless because it was about the right size of the pan, and I just repressed it and it seems to be fine, or, you know, as fine as any of the other ones are. It is very, I feel like, sensitive. It's just a very sensitive kind of storage situation. I appreciate them trying to do something sustainable with the cardboard, but I feel like it would have been better as a palette, I'm just saying. So, be not afraid of how deep this brown is. I think we're probably gonna manage to put most of these on my eye today. They're actually like not as dramatic as they look. Got a BK212 here. I'm gonna start in with Toasty, the peachy shade. They are dusty shadows. That is still true about them. This is on the other end of the spectrum when I talk about how I don't like a Natasha Denona shadow because it's so sticky. These are a lot less sticky, but it's like they make up for the lack of stickiness with a lot of pigmentation. I'm also going to swatch this against the most obvious candidates kind of across the cost spectrum. You know, I have the Hermes quad that has that coral in it, and I might even pull that out for an inner corner highlight in this look because there isn't anything particularly like really bright shimmery in this. But also, I mean, there is definitely a Kaja Trio that meets these needs as well. And the Kaja Trios, sure, they're plastic, but they are much more durable. Oh my gosh, like I throw those things around. That's also something to be aware of. It's like, are you tough on your makeup? I'm tough on my makeup. I mean, this stuff kind of by force or by accident avalanches off of my desk multiple times a week. Thousands of dollars worth of makeup. I am not, I haven't done this spiel in a while. I am not in the truest sense a makeup hobbyist. And so I don't feel really overwhelmed by having a huge collection because I don't feel like it really belongs to me. Obviously it does, but it feels like something that's like a tax write-off to me because it's supplies for what I do. It's like art supplies. I don't think about this stuff. I mean, some of it, and I always make sure to specify, some of it I buy for me, like the Chanel. I really don't care if anybody watches those videos. I'm here to love Chanel. I just love Chanel. But like when stuff kind of pitches itself off my desk and stuff, I'm just like, oh, there's like a fair amount of everything down there right now. And I don't find it to be like insulting to those products. I haven't anthropomorphized them and, you know, asked their forgiveness. It's just like, it's just the nature of my job. And that's also what informs my top shelf videos. And there probably will be a top shelf coming up soon. What is itching me? Stop that. I have to clean up this room and put everything away. And as I'm like holding each item, I go, I don't want to put that away. And like some of them I do want to put away. And so the top shelf is the products that I don't want to put away. I feel like it's a very good kind of Marie Kondo way of deciding what's the most important to me in that moment. So right now I have just been using the two peach matte colors, the light one and the like medium one. I'm using the medium one right now. They do build on themselves really nicely and they do blend on themselves really nicely. So I'm gonna start in with this shade. This is really beautiful. This is Spark. Spark is sort of the obvious choice here, right? She's just like a really great, like I feel like there are several looks to be had here, but this is the most intuitive one for this kind of face of makeup where everything else is pretty low key because it's all very skin native. As I get into those deep shades, obviously things are going to get very dramatic very quickly. I'm gonna dip a brush in there and a brush will pick it up. The shimmers are definitely better behaved than the mattes. But we are going to go in with the browns, we are. What I wanna do with Tamarind is actually use it as a smoky eyeliner because I just feel like that's what it wants to be. That is easier than doing a regular eyeliner, I will hand them that. Not sure I like the effect as much, but I could also probably get a really phenomenal smoky eye out of that brown. I wanna see if it improves it to add a little bit of Tamarind kind of on the outer corner. I know it's gonna try and close my eye off a little bit, so we have to be careful. I'm gonna take this little Reffer brush, and that is what I'm going to use for boop, 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 a little bit of char. And that is the wrong brush for that. Yes, it is. Wow. There we go. We love an A502. I do feel like maybe we've kind of hit capacity on layering them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not into like super dramatic eye looks, so I don't want to just like keep building that dark shade until I have, you know, something that I need to wear fake eyelashes with kind of thing. So I'm just going to try and remedy that as well as I can by lightening up what's around it, and then we will put a little more of that lighter glitter on. Suffice it to say, I have a lot of this kind of thing in my collection. These colors do excite me. That's why I got excited about it when it was on Trend Mood, right? So here is the quad that I use, no, it's a quint that I used today. It's just the lightest shade is practically invisible on my skin. And then this is the Orange Blossom Trio from Kaja. This is Peach Madeline. This is Coral Sunrise. And this is the Hermes quad that I mentioned a second ago. I don't know if you can tell, this is just not my favorite in any way. It's not pleasantly surprising me. I would far rather use the Hermes quad, which I wasn't that delighted with to begin with. I wasn't that impressed by it, but I would rather use that. And then Orange Blossom is that girl. Orange Blossom will always be that girl. It has my favorite Bedroom Eyes brown in it. I feel like a much more satisfying shimmer that's of that same color right there. That really nice, what was the color? Spark? It doesn't have a matte peach in it, but I just think that, I don't know, it's just more exciting. Also, I don't know, I made a mess. I did make a mess. We made mud. I don't know why. I think I got in the mindset of wanting to show y'all, like I was like, oh, I don't want to back down from a challenge. I want to show y'all the Bedroom Eyes of it all, and kind of went halfway in between, and that was my bad. It's, you know, it's not the best use of this palette necessarily, but I do feel like I kind of saved it, you know, glitter fixes everything, and it'll be okay. Here's the other issue with this thing is like, once you have them broken apart, you have to hunt all the pieces down again. It's not like something that's self-contained, and so it's like if you lose the lid, you're screwed. And you have to pay attention to which one's the bottom. I'm acting like that requires like rocket science, but in my collection, things are going to get lost. So I'm going to do my actual eyeliner, now that we kind of pivoted from the original eyeliner idea, and my mascara and my brows, and we'll come back and I'm gonna just swatch party on all these lips before we decide. have a new brow product from Kulfi. They sent this. This is just their clear Free the Brow. And it's kind of like the Refi one. So it's got a tool on one end and then a nice clear brow gel on the other. Once my colored brow gel dries, we'll do that. So, like I said, don't judge me. This is my job. I sprung for the $90 lip gloss from MER. Since it's at Sephora, I was like, whatever. And it is quite lovely, but it's not a lot in the way of pigment. This is the GIvenchy we discussed, and she is a lot in the way of pigment, and I like it. I think that it's great. It's very, very pretty. I also love the way it swirls in the package. It's nice. Next, I think it's relevant to swatch the Hermes. This is the Irresistible. Gonna be just as pigmented, but no plumping. I think there's plumping in both of the other ones, and it smells like peach rings. And then I also pulled out Picante because I think it is relevant, but it is not that similar. This is from Victoria Beckham, and while I like it, it is much pinker. And it gives me kind of a milky pink thing on my lips, which is not always something I'm in the mood for. So I'll put on the MER so that you can see it, but you can't really see it. It's just really nice. You know, it's just like a nice plushy liquid lip balm, super plumping, but it's not a spicy plump, it's like a minty plump. And it just smells kind of pepperminty. I frankly love it, but the coral of it all, if that's what you're here for, you're not gonna get a lot of that. This is really what's gonna go with this look, is the Givenchy. And I want to thank Jamie, I learned her name, she is so lovely, that owns the account Makeup on Your Radar on Instagram. Everyone should go follow her. I feel like she catches wind of things, like she's a sleuth. She is international espionage. Like the stuff that she finds that's coming out, she catches it before Sophie of Trend Mood a lot of times. And she is just so lovely for usually sending them to me as well in a DM, being like, this is coming out. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, I go, holy, do you know what I mean? Like she'll show me something and I'm like, well, I have to have that, you know? So I'm so grateful for her. She does such an amazing service to me. Is that sweet? Ooh, ooh. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do y'all remember? I'll see if I can find a picture of them on the internet. Do y'all remember when there was that toy where we used to make flowers out of like different foil shapes and they had these little things that sprung out of the middle of them? I was just transported back to being probably 7 years old playing with those, and that is what this lip gloss tastes like. So bear that in mind. It is really giving exactly that fake flower flavor in my mouth. It's like waxy almost. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. You know what I mean? So I almost want to use Rudy's freckle pen because my freckles are already showing through and I feel like I want to like make them even more prominent. I think you can still buy it, so it wouldn't be torture. In fact, I think that you can buy the combo of her mascara and her freckle pen. Still kicks ass. Let's go. Just add a little more than I got naturally, you know? And if you're like one of those people who got teased for having freckles, I'm really sorry about that. I never got teased for having freckles and I've had them my entire life. Oh no, don't eat this. Don't eat this lip gloss. That is unpleasant. That's a really pretty color, but that's unpleasant. Ooh, I hadn't intentionally tried to taste it before, and once you do, it lingers. No, 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 no. Floral. Blech. I'm gonna go with this. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. At least this doesn't have a weird floral taste to it. The MER. It really is exquisite. Is it $90 exquisite? You be the judge, okay? It's just a lip gloss. A really nice lip gloss, but it's a lip gloss. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old ones from Rowan. The original like Kiss My Liquid Lip Balms, but like even plushier and even more luxurious. So starting out with the Kulfi here, the Free the Brow. And I'm gonna go for kind of a lamination effect because I think that that's really what this product is going for. It's got a lot of hold, it's really beautiful. And I know that this pisses people off, the lamination look. And you know what I have to say to that? It's just makeup. And I like the lamination look. I don't want it crazy, crazy. You know, I'm not Jess Hunt. I don't need it crawling all the way up my face. And I think that she rocks that, but it's just not for me. But I do like a little bit. So it's like you can kind of sculpt it so that it doesn't look like a little punk rock mohawk. But I do like to have those look a little bit kind of organic and spiky. vibes. And that's the vibe, that's the energy today. Was it the easiest route to get there? No. Is it the best job of it I could have done for y'all today? No, but it's just makeup and I'm satisfied with it. I like it. Let's talk about these individual products and whether or not I recommend them. Wow. Wow. Okay, I have reservations. Oh, and I feel like if I don't mention this, people are going to flood my comments. Yeah, there's a divot in the side of the packaging, but it's like exactly where your thumb goes. It doesn't bother me at all, but also this didn't bother me at all. Just bear that in mind. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my gosh, you didn't use the space right and you did 2 different shapes. Ah! I have a very high chaos tolerance. So either way, we have a phenomenal formula here, and boy, is it a shame because that shade range is shameful. That shade range is embarrassing. It's such a self-own to come out with that many shades, and you're looking at it on the arms of the models and you can clearly see that it is just so skewed Caucasian. And that's not to say that people who are not Caucasian can't have light skin, but let's be real, that wasn't what they had in mind, okay? So I think that this is exceptional. I think it's really, really lovely to be used the way that I used it today. If you want something that goes all over your face and you were thinking about this, do this instead. It's just so much better. So, I mean, I have dry skin, bear that in mind. If you have really oily skin, I don't know if you'd love this, but this is the one that I would pick personally. And the Westman Atelier one, I mean, their shade range isn't like that much better. It's just, I feel like it's spread out better, but it definitely doesn't have as many shades, so, you know. Como si, como sa. The formula itself is breathtaking. It's so pretty, it's so easy to work with, and it's something that could be used alone and no one would ever know you're wearing makeup. It is invisible other than the fact that it's camouflaging. It's really, really impressive. Haus Labs was wrong for this. Okay, this is just a dumb thing that they did. Honestly, because there's no such thing as bad attention. There's no such thing as bad press. And so obviously shrinking everything down, that's just going to give them more attention, even though it's bad attention, and people are going to buy it anyway. It's basically leveraging that logic in my eyes, and I think that that's kind of shady and annoying, but at the same time, I'm never gonna finish this. So, you know, what am I complaining about? It should have been $18. It should have been $18, but it isn't, and I still like it, and that annoys me. We can feel more than one way about something. My skin does look real good though, like real good. Especially for having so little complexion product on, it looks really good. Little stackaroo here. I don't buy this. It's not worth it. I think there's a reason that Sephora didn't pick it up, and it's because they got it in their hands and they went, no, no. Melt has eyeshadows in intuitive delivery systems. They've been known for their palettes for years. Granted, I don't know if they have small ones, but they should. This is not it. This is such a sensitive little packaging situation, and that was something that I did anticipate when I first found out about this, but the swatches were so pretty. I was like, I just want to try it. Yeah, I hate to say that I was right. Like, this is so fragile. And also, it's not an uncommon, as you saw by the swatches, color story. You can find this color story elsewhere in much more satisfying formulas. The Kaja packaging is virtually indestructible. I mean, I'm sure someone will be in my comments being like, I broke mine, but like, I've never chucked one against the wall, but I am not nice to them, and they've been amazing. Never once have I shattered a Kaja eyeshadow. So I think that the Orange Blossom Trio is probably the best one to go for if these are the colors that you want, because of the super satisfying kind of pinky gold and the super satisfying bedroomized brown. But it's not exactly the same. But you also probably have a really good matte brown and a really good matte peach in your eyeshadow collection already. If you're looking for that really, really satisfying texture, just go for the Orange Blossom Trio. I'm annoyed by how lovely this is. Is it super special? No, but I will say if you're a luxury person, it feels really special to use it. There's a magic there that some people experience and some people don't. It's like ASMR. Does it give you the tingles or not? ASMR doesn't give me the tingles. This is something that I have that funny sense for, where I'm like, I know I'm using MER, I know I'm interacting with this beautiful package, and I love wearing it and knowing that that's what I'm wearing. I know that that's stupid, okay? I know that that's stupid. But formula-wise, this is a pretty flawless formula. Not $90 worth of flawless, I'm not going to lie to you, okay? But this is kind of a flawed formula. As pretty as it is, why does it taste like that? it didn't need to. So, I can't really recommend this, even though it's I mean, it's beautiful. It's really pretty. It's got like micro shimmer in there, and it's like, the packaging is lovely, and it's a lot. It's like a third of the price of this one. Something like that. And you're not necessarily, like, it's not like these are the only 2 lip glosses on the planet that exist. It's not like that's your only option. But understand that the coral is not really that coral, okay? Because it's not. And understand that this is a minty plump, but it is a really lovely, plushy minty plump. I'm personally really glad that I have it. I think that it's something that, you know, for a luxury person, like somebody who that's their kink, it really hits the marks. But like, don't go spend $90 on a lip gloss because I told you to. Okay, just don't. Just don't. I know that that's stupid. Like, let's keep things in perspective. This is my job. That's a tax deduction. Yes, I enjoy it. Don't go spend $90 on a lip gloss because I like it, okay? Okay. And the Kulfi? I like her. That's a really firm hold. I like that a lot. I mean, it doesn't do anything weird and, you know, white and flaky. It's a lot more hold, I feel like, than the Air Brow. Do I need a ton of hold? No, I have pretty obedient brows, but it gives me more of a lamination effect that's definitely gonna stick around, and I like it. So thank you to Kulfi for sending this. This is awesome. And those are my thoughts for today on the things that are new at Sephora, which the Melt Cosmetics isn't actually at Sephora, but you know, if you see somebody comment after seeing the thumbnail that the Melt Cosmetics Quint isn't on Sephora, you will know that they watched precisely none of the video before commenting, which are my favorite kind of comments. If you enjoyed this, please do give the video a thumbs up. If you're new here and you like what you see and you like swatches and you like comparisons and you like me being honest about my feelings, but honest about the, you know, how probably is like a more practical approach to these sorts of things, I'm always gonna try and give you the most well-rounded review and tell y'all what my feelings are and whether they're stupid or like who something's actually for. And if all of that appeals to you, consider subscribing while you're here, and I'll put a video up here that I think you will enjoy if you liked this one. And I love y'all so much. My current subscribers, you're amazing. I freaking adore you, and thank you for being here, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!